And welcome to Entry Point's online virtual service. Today is Sunday, February 6th, 2022. My name is Sean P. Neal. Thanks so much for joining us. You know, as we grow up and pursue love, we encounter a myriad of rituals and expectations. As a result, most of us grow up believing that after we go to school and graduate, we'll meet someone, fall in love, marry that person, have children, live happily ever after. As we get to today's message, I thought it might be fun to have a quick conversation with Pastor Nancy Lafferty and discuss this topic a little bit and dive into what the message is going to be about. Hi, Nancy. How are you?
Great.
Awesome. So you're going to talk a little bit about these expectations that we have, come to put on ourselves and what marriage looks like and what finding love looks like. When you think about two people who have fallen in love and they've decided to get married, when you look at all of the expectations that maybe society, their friends, their family put on what marriage should look like, what their relationship should look like in order to get married, do you feel that that can distract people from actually focusing on the important stuff of the relationship and what it means to be getting married? Or what are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely, Sean. I fear that we are trapped with some of the traditional rituals, and it makes sense. I take a few minutes in the message and I kind of go back all the way back to colonial times and talk about why we may be believing the expectations and the rituals are the right thing today, and it's historical. All of this is historical. It's somewhat very classist, and it certainly has a lot to do with money, which is also the description of the way we do love in America right now. It is sometimes very classist. It is often about money, and that's my concern. My concern is I don't want tradition or ritual to overshadow the main thing, and the main thing is love between two people. I don't believe we get enough training. I don't believe we get enough guidance on how to really love each other, but we get a whole lot of information about who's supposed to stand where in the wedding party. And that to me feels a little disjointed and out of balance. That's why I wanted to do this message today.
Yeah, that's really exciting. Thanks for sharing that. And like everybody else, I'm looking forward to hearing the message. We'll see you soon on the message, okay?
Thanks, Sean.
All right, everybody. Well, sit back, relax, enjoy the prayer coming right up, and then we'll hear the message from Pastor Nancy Lafferty.
Hello, everyone. Please pray with me. Dear God, thank you for the beautiful February snow and this opportunity to think deeply about love. As we consider how love has played out historically, may we consciously decide how we want to love today. What power we have as individuals to lead with love. We are grateful for your unconditional love, God. May we have eyes to seek out and really appreciate all the love in our world. Leading with love is a value for many people, and it's a value of mine too. Of course, we don't always have loving thoughts, but we can still lead with love even when it's difficult. And some days it is very difficult to climb up that hill to the high road. I find myself having hateful reactions and yes, saying snarky things when I hear people express different viewpoints. In these instances, God, help me channel Martin Luther King's loving words. I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. May we consciously decide, God, how we want to love today. Love is thankfully unfolding more openly now, and our choices are much broader than they were decades ago. No doubt people of yesteryear would marvel at dating apps, literally at our fingertips. With your love as our guide, God, be with us as we stumble around with various human emotions and then make the conscious decision to lead with love. Let our eyes see boundless opportunities to contribute love to our world. Amen.
I was thinking about how difficult it is for us to find and to maintain the love that we all yearn for. No other one subject has been more analyzed, talked about, and experienced by every single person on this planet than love. And yet, we really have no clue what it is.
Celebrated ancient Greek playwright Sophocles wrote these words in the year 406 BC. One word frees us of all the weight and pain of life. That word is love. Love. We write songs about it. We create game shows to help us find it, download apps to help us one day be lost in its spell. All across the world, we are united by love. Love is a basic need that we all have. Humans are not meant to wander through life alone. In the classic American play, Our Town, Mrs. Gibbs tells us, people are meant to go through life 2 by 2. 'Tain't natural to be lonesome. A passage in Ecclesiastes reminds us, 2 are better than 1 because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity anyone who falls down and has no one to help them up. We are social creatures, and love is the glue that binds us together. So, I'm going to dedicate the entire month of February to investigating love. Why do we need it? How do we get it? And what do we do with it? Today, we will examine how we view love in our country. What are some of the rituals and expectations that are part of what I like to call love American style? In future weeks, I will be chatting with you about infatuation and then what happens to us when we lose love or suddenly find love all over again. And then in the last week of February, my message will focus on how love changes everything about us. When our youngest son, Luke, was in 2nd grade, he told us he had a girlfriend. I asked, what do boyfriends and girlfriends do in 2nd grade? He very seriously leaned in and replied, when we're walking down the hall in the boys' line and the girls' line, we try to stand across from each other. And thus began a lifetime of rituals and expectations for Luke in his pursuit of love. Now, I don't know about you, but when I was in grade school, we often received a very important handwritten document that let us girls know that a boy liked us, and he wanted to see if we liked him back. It was a piece of paper that said, do you like me? Check the box. And, of course, there were 2 choices. Yes, no. We checked the box and sent the note back. Now, we didn't really do anything together after that box was checked, except to smile at each other sheepishly every now and then. And maybe when it was time to go outside and play during recess, we might end up playing a game on the same team. And then when we got older, around 6th or 7th grade, the girls got a ring from their boyfriends, and we promptly wrapped that ring in Angora yarn. And, of course, we wore that ring all day long at school, but we slipped that ring off when we got home because some of us had parents that told us we were not allowed to go steady until we were 15 or 16 years old. Things have changed quite a bit since then, but let's go even further back in time to examine some of the rituals and expectations about love in American history. In colonial America, there were very low expectations and very few rituals. The early colonists didn't have time to spend on love or courtship. They were just trying to survive. Courtship involved finding a woman of childbearing-ish age who had survived the previous winter. The man plowed things and kept threats of attack at bay, and the woman kept the vermin out of the gruel that she whipped up to feed her ever-growing family. As things became more settled in the New World in the 18th century, the American patriarchal home was at its peak. Women literally belonged to either their fathers or their husbands. Marriage was a business agreement that men made regarding their sons' inheritance and their daughters' dowry. The goal was to marry wealth and property together. The people were incidental. But then the Revolutionary era came, which released the fathers from control of future alliances, and young people began to seek out their own relationships. And by the beginning of the 20th century, everyone simply expected love to end up in marriage. Many of us had at least one couple experience by the time we graduated from high school, and if we're honest, we didn't always handle that relationship with much respect or dignity or kindness. Those are the practice years, and hopefully we don't repeat the same mistakes that we had when we were kids as we enter into couple relationships as adults. As adults, we meet, we feel attracted to each other, we fall in love, and we usually are expected to honor that love with a marriage commitment. It's our parents and our families that expect that most of all. It makes the relationship more respectable, more legit. There's that expectation that if the relationship lasts, there will be a proposal, a ring to cement the commitment, and then a wedding that will transport the couple to wedded bliss, where they will live happily ever after. Now let's take a few minutes and break down those steps just a little bit deeper. Every single expectation that I just mentioned has grown to mammoth, incredibly expensive proportions today. No longer is a proposal just a moment between the couple. It's now a filmed event performed in front of family or friends. In fact, guys get to practice for that day much earlier than proposal day, when they perform what has now become known as the promposal in high school. Posters are made, surprises are planned. Again, the gentleman is encouraged to make this request as public as possible. No more quick stop by somebody's locker between classes to get a date for the prom. Instead, friends of the young lady must be invited to watch and film the surprise event in the middle of the cafeteria or out on the football field. But let's get back to our adult couple. During the proposal, the guy gets down on one knee oftentimes, presumably to suggest the same respect for and allegiance to his future bride that a man kneeling before royalty would offer. And as he kneels, he usually offers a ring to his future bride as a symbol of their commitment, usually a pretty expensive one. Or if he has one available, he might offer a valuable ring that was previously worn by someone in his family. The moment that ring is on her finger, the wedding plans begin. Again, we are no longer encouraged to slip away quietly and privately to the justice of the peace. Oh no, we must go big. There are invitations and flowers to order, a band and wedding planner to hire, an expensive venue to resolve and to reserve, and multiple layers of costly events leading up to the big day. The selection of the wedding party, the purchase of the perfect wedding gown, bridal showers, bachelor parties, and lots of food tasting. On the wedding day, there's a wedding cake usually and a first dance by the couple. Now, the majority of ceremonies, regardless of differences in culture, ethnicity, or lifestyle, contains a bit of a processional, and most receptions end with some kind of gesture to send off the newlyweds in style. Here is what we, still today in our country, expect from people who say they love each other. We expect that they will be nice to each other, that they will be faithful to each other, and that they will be opposite genders. We think they will meet each other's parents, and maybe even the parents will meet each other, and everyone will approve of the relationship. We expect that there will be a proposal with a reasonable engagement period, followed by a beautiful, lavish wedding. They will live in separate houses until they're married, and once they are married, they will share a last name, have children, and live together in the same house for the rest of their days. That is love, American style. But what we know is that isn't necessarily true. Many couples do not have children. Many couples do not marry. Many couples do not live in the same house. Many couples don't share a last name. Lots of couples don't fit that mold. But they love each other deeply and respectfully. So why in the world do we have all these rituals? Are they outdated practices that we should stop doing? I can't answer that for anyone but myself, but I do see some value in these rituals. Despite our changing times, rituals give us a bit of structure, a bit of security, and some procedures to follow. The ritual of having guests attend a wedding has some merit. We feel supported and celebrated by our tribe. But we don't want our culture's expectations and rituals to limit our ability to love, or to cause people to feel so overwhelmed that they end their relationship. I fear sometimes that our big ticket weddings keep people uncommitted. I fear that our culture often puts far more emphasis on the rituals and the money spent, rather than helping people try to figure out how to love each other better. But here's what I do know. Love is the highest expression of compassion. It's the strongest change agent in the world. Love heals us. It grows us up and it makes us better people. Love is God within us. I know undeniably that because of the love God has for me and for all of us, I have been able to take the high road sometimes, to offer grace to others, and to have patience for others because I have love within me. And that's directly from God. These are not actions that I could ever have taken on my own. My selfish nature would never allow me to love others the way I can because of God's love for me and through me. So, wherever we are with dating, expectations, marriage, or any of this, let's don't lose the love part. The ability to love another person and to receive love from that person is a personal, private miracle. Let's all be grateful for those in our lives who love us and those in our lives whom we love. Amen.
So what do you think about that? What do you think about that message? She left us with some good thoughts and some good things to really ponder over. And as you go into the next week, I'm always encouraging you to find us on social media. Wherever you're seeing this video at right now, you can find us on social media there. And so Facebook, YouTube, connect with us there and tell us in your comments, tell us what resonated with you about this message. What did you take away from it? What will you be thinking about in the upcoming week because you heard this message? We'd love to hear from you in that way. Now, don't forget next week. Oh my gosh, it's going to be a great topic. It's love isn't blind, but infatuation is. Love isn't blind, but infatuation is. And wow, I wish I would have heard that 20 or 30 years ago. All right. So, everybody, please be safe. Have a great week. Thanks so much for joining us. And we'll see you next time right here on Entry Points Virtual Service. Take care.